is Andrew Jerome Stevens, black male, 53. There's two suspects in this case. The first one is going to be Darius Lerone Jones, black male, 33. The second suspect is Keisha Hugh Love. She's a black female, age 25. They are boyfriend and girlfriend. They do have a child in common. On Tuesday, April 15, 2014, at 3 p.m., the Jacksonville Fire Rescue Department responded to a structure fire in the 1100 block of Steel Court. Upon arrival, they discovered a smoldering fire and the victim deceased. A joint investigation was initiated with the State Fire Marshal and the Jacksonville Sheriff's Office. The fire was ruled an arson, and the manner of death from the medical examiner's office was ruled a homicide. The homicide unit determined that suspect Love had recently moved in with the victim. On the night of the murder, suspect Love, along with suspect Jones, went to the victim's apartment where they beat, stabbed, and shot him. After they did this, both suspects stole the victim's wallet as well as his car. Later in the morning, they actually went to a area Walgreens where they attempted to purchase some infant formula along with baby wipes. They tried to use one of the victim's credit cards, but it wasn't accepted. They then used some money to make the purchases. During this time, as I mentioned, they had a child in common. The child was actually left at another location at another acquaintances of theirs. They actually, after making the purchase, returned back to that place where they dropped off the infant formula as well as baby wipes. They both then returned back to the address on Steel Court where the victim was found and attempted to, or actually did, set the apartment on fire. As I described earlier, it's a smoldering fire. They did this in order to conceal the crime that they committed. And they actually returned back to where the child was being kept at the acquaintance's home. And then they left from there. They were actually picked up yesterday on I believe it was a case from Jacksonville Beach. It was an unrelated case to this investigation. They were actually arrested from a case that they were working over there, which I don't have all the details of. They were brought here to the Jacksonville Sheriff's Office where they were interviewed. Suspect Love actually confessed and implicated Suspect Jones. Suspect Jones was arrested for murder, armed robbery, and arson. And Suspect Love was arrested for murder and armed robbery. And I'll take any questions that you might have.
Stephanie Brown from WOKV. Is there any indication of a motive why they wanted this man dead?
Robbery.
Plain and simple.
Yeah.
Derek Dillon, Times Union, was he targeted for any other reason besides, how did they get to his apartment and why did they pick him?
As I mentioned before, the suspect Love and the victim actually met about a couple weeks prior to this. The victim actually invited the suspect Love to actually come and stay with him. So she'd actually been living there, staying with him for a couple weeks.
Do we know how they first met?
The way I understand it, it was just a random encounter that they met on the street somewhere.
Were you given this tip by family members? Because we know that the day of the arson, the family members suspected Miss Love because they said they might have a child in common. The deacon and Miss Love may have a child in common.
No, I don't know about that. I know that both suspects have a child in common and that she was living there. I don't know anything about the victim having a child with anybody else that's not, that's not involved. The two suspects and the child that the suspect Love has is not any relationship to the victim.
So the child that you mentioned that they gave to an acquaintance and went and bought supplies for, is that common that the two suspects have in common?
Yes, that's the suspect's child.
Was the victim and Love dating, or was there any sort of relationship there?
Other than just allowing her to move in, we haven't been able to find any other type of relationship other than just him extending his home to her.
You said that they were picked up originally by Jack's Beach police. Were they specifically being questioned about this incident when suspect Love confessed, or did she just happen to come out with it?
No, what really kind of, really kind of opened up this case is that, if you remember, I spoke about an acquaintance. That acquaintance actually contacted the Jacksonville Sheriff's Office because the suspects had actually left some of the property. And you'll see in the arrest and booking report that you have, I believe we furnished that to you. It's very detailed and kind of explains everything. There's not a whole lot that's been omitted from it, so it'll kind of give you the background to everything, how it kind of happened. but the acquaintance actually called the Jacksonville Sheriff's Office after discovering some property, and when they actually returned back to the house, remember they came, dropped off some formula and some baby wipes. They pretty much, she could tell that something was up with them by the way they were behaving and everything. And also you'll see in the docket where suspect Love actually sustained a broken arm from a result of going back and trying to conceal what they did.
Had police been seeking these suspects the entire time? Like, had they been eluding arrest, I guess, so to speak?
We were gathering facts and details about it, but it really started to happen once the acquaintance came forward and gave us that information.
Derek Gillentine, Jr. I've talked with the acquaintance. I was wondering what, she said that she was also being investigated for kidnapping the kid, and she said that she put in a missing persons report for these suspects. I'm wondering what's going on with the kid now. She said that the kid is with the grandparents, Keisha Love's grandparents. Is that where they're accurate? I mean, what's going on with the suspect's child?
I don't have that. I don't know that answer.
It says here in the report that suspect Jones referenced making a bomb. Was the fire started by any kind of explosive, or?
No, we didn't find any evidence of that.
Was there anyone else involved in this, or is it just these two people?
Just those.
Any other questions? All right, thanks, Chief.
Okay, thank you.